Hi, my name is Maureen, and you are with Love Louder, and today I am talking to Erin, and she is telling us her story, her journey, who is with her, who is not, and we'll see where we land up. Welcome.
Thank you.
Erin. Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome. I'm honored that you would invite me, and
I know you have a great story, so let's just jump in. Tell us where do you want to start? First of all, let's just start a little bit about you. Who are you?
Okay. Well, I'm a child of God for sure. That first and foremost, a disciple of Jesus, and I am also a mother of 2 boys and a grandmother of 5. And then I have a boyfriend. I'm widowed and divorced. Both. Divorced first, then widowed. I work as a customer service rep. That's basically generally who I am.
Who you are. Yeah. And what do you do for fun?
For fun, I love to go hiking.
Mm-hmm.
I love to hang out with my grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
I love to hang out with my boyfriend. That's so much fun. And I love going for walks or coffee dates or whatever with girlfriends and things like that. And I love to watch movies.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Any specific genre?
Mostly faith-based movies.
Okay.
But true stories. So I don't necessarily like to have true stories, but those really...
Right. So you're a fan of The Chosen?
I love The Chosen. It's one of my favorites. I'm actually just doing we just finished, just before before spring started, whatever, a Chosen Bible study.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were doing that, so that was fun.
And that was good?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was just to be kind of putting yourself in the place of some of the people and who do you relate to and how does that relate into your life today? And it was really cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be very interesting to explore that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you want to share with us today?
I thought about a lot of things. I mean, our stories are so varied and involved, and I didn't want to start, I was born, blah, blah, blah. It would take way too long. But the thing I think that's impacted my life the most and that has impacted my faith is my journey through grief. So you'll have to excuse me if I get emotional.
Okay, that's okay. I should have some Kleenexes here.
Oh, that's okay. I'll survive. Basically it's been kind of a theme. So it's my first experience of grief was way back in 1986, where my brother committed suicide.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he, I won't get into a lot of these, but he was very young and just hopeless and helpless and whatever, right? And just really hurting, obviously.
Yeah.
So he chose that route, and that was on, I remember the date. I will always remember the date, but June 14th of 1986. And then, the next, I went a number of years or whatever, and then I was with a fellow, his name was Eddie Barton. That's where I get my last name from. And Eddie and I, we just had a really cool relationship. We were only together for 7 years, and I don't know if only is, but the impact that he had on my life was pretty strong. And he was such an example of what Christ can do in somebody. He was a man who basically he spent from the time he was 13 till the time he was 40 in jail, in and out of jail.
Wow.
Yeah, and the last time he went to jail was for manslaughter.
Wow.
Yeah, well, he was an alcoholic and he was drinking, and he woke up one morning and he was chained to a bed and he had no idea what had happened. And so he spent quite a few years in jail, and he finally got out and he got clean and sober, and he found Jesus in there. And he was the softest, kindest, most gentle man you would ever meet, and funny. And kids just loved him. Like, kids would just curl up on his lap and want to snuggle with him. And yeah, he was just he was a really good man. He was not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but he was a good man. And so he also, because of the alcoholism, he had developed cirrhosis of the liver. And so that was in remission when I met him. He got sick again, and it was a year-long battle between hospitals, running to and from different hospitals. He developed pneumonia. He broke his hip, like so many things. And that journey, just so walking through that with him and just going to work. And then, and I wasn't a believer at that time, and I was just trying to do it on my own, and to, just kind of, I had some help. Like, he had some AA buddies that would come alongside and spend some time with him, and my one son, my youngest son, he was really instrumental. He still lived at home. So he came alongside a lot and helped out with different things, right? And my mom lived with me too. So she was there, and as much as she could be, whatever. So then June 14th of 2013, Eddie passed away. And I thought, that's so random. Like, why that same day, And I've tried to ask God if there's any, reason for that. I've looked in the Bible. I've looked up the 6th, book of the 14th chapter to see if that speaks to me. Not really. But who knows, right? I don't know. But so he passed away at home. And, but in the meantime, while I was that's when my journey to faith started. I just thought, I want to get to know this Jesus that Eddie talks about, right? Because obviously he's had an impact on him. So that's what I did. I started going to church, and I went to a Bible study, and then I got baptized. And so I was baptized before he passed.
Okay.
And then, but then he passed. And so then it was just, this journey of trying to walk it out, And for me, I was always like, I always had to have a man in my life that was like, I just didn't know how to function otherwise. And so, but I think after saying goodbye to Eddie, it's like, I said, I'm done. No more of that. So I just, we moved because we didn't want to be in that house anymore. Him dying, right in the living room there, just lost the magic in that. So we were renting, whatever. So we just moved, and we moved into this 4-plex. And my son was with me, and then a friend of his moved in with us, and there was my mom and myself, and then my current boyfriend actually happened to live in one of the suites there. And but so then I just kept going to church, and I decided to go to Celebrate Recovery. And because I'd heard, that wasn't just for people that were addicted. Anything you're struggling with, you could go. So started going to that. And remember the 12 steps, we could sign up to do the 12 steps. So the information night of the 12 steps, I was in this room, and there was this big circle of us. I don't know how many, about 30 people. And I looked directly across from me, and there was this woman about my age, whatever. And I went, we're going to be friends. We're going to be best friends. And I don't know how I knew that, but now I'd say that was God, but at the time I was just like, well, that's a weird thought. I didn't even know her name, at that point. And she was, in 2013, her husband had just been released from jail, and they were on a rocky road. And so with my grief journey and her grief journey, we walked it out together, and we were best friends for a lot of years. And she's still here. I'm not crying because of that. I'm just crying because how precious that was, like that God would provide that exactly what I needed, at that time. And it wasn't like, my mom used to always say, don't put all your eggs in one basket, so it wasn't like she was my only friend, but she was definitely my closest friend. We traveled, not anywhere fancy, but things I wouldn't normally do on my own, and then there was things that I like to do that she was an introvert, I'm an extrovert, so it was very, that we just clicked, and her faith, she'd been walking with the Lord for a lot of years, so she was really encouraging and helping me to grow and learn, and just such a gift from God, in that season, and then my son too, like kind of backing up a little bit before I started going to that church that my last church I was at, my son actually, he came with me because he wanted to make sure I wasn't being, taught garbage and stuff like that. So that was another gift, right? In that, right? But with May, she was just, we just clicked, and we just, and so then we fast forward. So that was in 2013. Then my younger sister, she had gotten diagnosed a few years before that with cancer. It had gone into remission, and then it came back. So, and she was young. She's like 52, I think, or something like that. And they kept telling her, no, they do surgery, and they kept, we got it, and then something else would happen. No, it's back, right? And then finally they told her, don't, we got it all, but just get yourself a really non-stressful job and you'll be fine. Because she had some pretty high stress jobs. So she was at work one day, and she had the cancer had metastasized to her brain, and she had this grand mal seizure, and then it was just basically downhill from then. Wasn't much. We visited with her a few, but I don't know. It might have been maybe a year, But so then it was like, oh my gosh, like, and that was Maureen, and she was my little sister, and she. We, growing up as teenagers, like, we just bonded, like, so it's like, that was really difficult. And to say goodbye to her, and especially being so young, and then she had these two boys that just, anyways, it was hard.
That's a lot.
Yeah. But God wasn't done with me yet. And I don't know, I still wonder some days, like, oh, what is your plan? But, I think, I think he just, like, just imagine what you actually can get through when you think like, I always felt like such a victim in my life. Like, I had no strength, and I felt like I had no creativity or no whatever. And God has given me that throughout this. Like, I've had to get strong, where I never would have made it. And like, surrounded me with so many people. And so then after she passed away, then I had a few years of reprieve, I guess, if you will, and just kind of, I went to Israel, I would have done that. Like, just things that I thought, what, I'm just going to do, it's like, I don't care about, like, I didn't have the money to go to Israel. I did nothing, but I'm just going to go. And that was huge, right? And then when we got back, I think it was, oh gosh, I'm trying to think. So it was 2016, I went to Israel, or 2017. And then 2018, in October of 2018, my mom was diagnosed with lung cancer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And she passed away in December of that same year.
Wow. That is so quick.
So fast.
So fast.
But I was like thinking, oh my gosh, like, and I remember, like, the few months that she was off, like God worked in that too, like, because you can get EI, like, you could, if you're caring for somebody when they're sick, right?
Bereavement.
Yeah, kind of like some kind of they pay you your salary, basically, a part of it, like 66% or whatever, right?
Okay,
of your salary, but you can go through EI, so you don't have to go on short-term disability or whatever, right? And and my sister kept saying, oh, you're going too soon, like, Mom's going to be around for a long time. And I'm like, I don't think so. I think I need to go now, and I need to be with her. So so we had, we did have some good times, right? Like she got pretty funny near the end. And my mom and I, like growing up, we didn't really have a close relationship. She was not a very good mom when we were younger, but she made her amends, and she tried to make up for that as we became adults and things like that. And she was a really good roommate. Like her and I like to do opposite things. So that worked out really well. And we had a pretty good friendship at the end. And then she got moved in December, I guess, or like maybe a week before she passed. She went into Kinney Creek Hospice.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and so then I spent the night there, whatever, and so a few nights, and God brought like this coworker of mine that her daughter loved dogs, and I had a golden retriever at the time, so they said, well, what are you doing with Noah? And I said, well, I'm just kind of going back and forth, right? And they said, no, we'll take him. And they went to my house and they picked him up and they took him to their place, and just
what a gift.
I know, it was like just so special. And there, I was just so not expecting it. And I remember saying, well, I can't afford to pay you. And Katie, the daughter, she goes, Erin, it's not all about money. It was like, wow, okay, thank you. And then, that happened. And so, then I was like, oh, and I kind of buried myself in work at that point. I remember, like, I think COVID hit, and nobody was going into the office or anything, right? And except I was, and I'd stay late. I'd stay till like 6 or whatever, hoping that my managers wouldn't notice, because I wouldn't put in for the pay. I would just log out at my regular time, and she's like, Erin, I noticed, like, I saw an email or something. You were here till 6. I go, oops. And then, and this was like a really down time in my life or whatever, because she goes, you need to go home. And I go, why? There's nothing there for me. And it was like, so, I wasn't expecting to say that, It was just so, I was like, wow. And so so then I realized, okay, that can't be happening anymore. Like, there's got to be more. Like sure, like May was there, my kids were there, like people were there for me, but I had to be there for me, and I had to show up for me. And so then that's when so I was trying to figure out, I was watching a really cheesy Christian movie. I can't remember what it's called now, but the acting's bad, but
as many are.
Yes, many are, yes. And anyways, in this movie, the coach says this kid wants to play football, and he's eating like donuts and cheesies, and he's bigger than a house, and he's like, you're not gonna, how do you expect to play? He goes, what are you, like, I'm willing to give you my time and my experience and everything. What are you willing to do? And I just clicked, and I thought, because part of me was like, I wanted to stay in the house that I was in, even though it was hard without Mom there, but I knew I loved that house, and I thought, what's my part? So I took my bedroom and I turned it into a prayer room.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and so I cleaned everything out and did that, and I would spend, I went off work for about 4 months. I was just so much anxiety and whatever. And I just spent time with the Lord, and just in prayer and worship and conversations, and I can't even, at this point, I couldn't tell you what he said or didn't say or anything, but I just know he healed me. He nurtured me during that time. Yeah. And in that, my landlords had come, because I thought, if I want to stay here, like, I can't afford to stay here by myself. And so I didn't know, so that was partially why the prayer room, right? So so they asked if they could come over, and I said, yeah, sure. So we sat down, we chatted a little bit, and then I said, so I guess we should bring up the obvious, like, if you guys want me to stay here, like, I'm gonna need to have a lower rent because I can't afford this rent. I think it was like $12.95 or something. And they said, well, yeah, we've already kind of thought about that. And so we'd like to lower your rent to $11.50,
Wow.
which was huge. And I'm thinking, landlords don't do that.
No.
They don't
No,
lower ever.
not
lower
ever.
your rent.
No.
Yeah. So I was just like stunned. And like, and even them, like God has been just so like doing that, but then they would also like check on me. Like if they saw my car sitting for more than a day or two, they'd phone and make sure I was okay.
They lived in the same complex?
No, but they would drive, they live in Poco, but they would drive by the house, right?
Oh,
And all the time, and because he comes and does work there all the time and stuff, right? And so yeah, they'd see, and they're like, oh, yeah. And so that was nice because my kids got busy with their lives and didn't always think to check in, but yeah, so it was. I thought, wow, that's so cool that they would do that, and then in March of 2020, my last living family member, my older sister, got diagnosed with cervical cancer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And and she was, in her 60s. And she'd been sick for a while, but we didn't know, like even when Mom was sick, I'd ask her if she could come and help out a little bit here and there so I could go to, different meetings or whatever and at the church and stuff. And or an appointment, and she'd go, oh, I just feel so sick, and I'm like, I'm tired, and I'm this, and my back hurts, and and I at the time I didn't have a lot. Unfortunately I didn't really have a lot of compassion for her because I just thought she was, I don't know. I thought, well, you don't work, you don't do anything. Like, why can't you come and help me, right? Little did we know how sick she was, right? Yeah. So, anyways, so then that was in March of 2020, and by April, she was gone.
Wow.
Yeah, so fast. But I do remember, I think, well, because my birthday's April 15th, and she passed on April 13th, and I just remember thinking, well, thank you that you did.
Not on my birthday.
Yeah, I didn't go on my birthday. But, so it was like, and I remember Cheryl, she was just so concerned, for me, and I thought, I'll be okay. And because she was like, but Erin, you got nobody now. Like, you're done. And I go, no, I've got people. And I said, I've got God, so I'll be okay. And she didn't have a faith per se. She did, but it it wasn't like a faith in Jesus or whatever, but more in like the universal God kind of thing, right? So. We could talk about faith, but differently, right?
Yeah,
so, but she knew what I meant and stuff. So, so then again, I was hit, and I ended up taking another 4 months off work.
Yeah,
It was just like, and I couldn't figure out why, like what was the purpose, and I went through some fears like, oh, am I going to get sick now, or all of that kind of stuff, right? But so far, God has, have some health issues, but they're not life-threatening. Right. And so that was 2020, and now we're in 2025, and I still struggle with worrying when one of my grandkids gets sick, or right now Paul's kind of struggling with some health issues that seem to be manageable. Like they're saying, oh yeah, just take these antibiotics, you'll be fine. And I'm like, yeah, I've heard that story before. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So trying to kind of not go down that road of catastrophic ballooning, I heard one time, right? Where you take a situation, it can be small, and you just blow it up into,
mountain out of a molehill.
Yes.
What my mom used to say.
Exactly. And so, all it is a, bladder infection. It's nothing, and so.
But that makes sense. I mean, if what is that? I wasn't really counting, but
Oh,
5 people?
5 people.
5 people. Yeah. Well, it's no wonder your mind goes that way.
Yeah. And just, so, and asking God, like, and I find myself sometimes pleading, please don't take this one, please.
Yeah.
I can't do it again. I just can't do it again, right? But yeah, so, but all in all, like, I mean, regardless, I don't know what the future holds, and I'm sure I will lose more people as, maybe not family, but maybe friends, because we're all getting older.
Yeah.
That's just, as they say, nobody gets out of life alive, kind of thing, right? Like, we all die.
I don't think I've heard that one. Yeah, well, I guess that's true.
Yeah. And so yeah, but I'm so encouraged by what he has done, like how God has led me each step. Like he's provided either, like even Paul, like when he showed up, like, so he was in that fourplex after Eddie passed. And so we would say, hello, good morning, have a nice day, whatever, because we were in the same fourplex, but we never really connected for a little while until, I guess it was 3 months later after I moved in. So I moved in August, and in November of that same year, so 2013, his best friend passed away from cancer. So now there was a connection.
Common bond.
Yeah, common bond. So we would talk about grief and what it meant and didn't mean and stuff like that. And he had been a Catholic, so he understood about faith a little bit, but he wasn't really attending a church or anything at that time. And so anyways, we had this very slow friendship that just grew and grew and grew. But even in that, like, that was such a gift at that time, right? Just to be able to have a male friend,
right?
And then, I had this great church that I was going to, and they were so supportive and encouraging. And I got to see a different side of myself. Like, yeah, so.
Plus you got to learn that you could live without.
Yes, for 10 years I lived without a man.
A man.
Yeah.
So it is possible.
It is possible, absolutely. It is, and I paid all my bills, and I didn't get, yeah.
And I think, I don't know, I think the hardest part when you're so desperately wanting a partner is the loneliness, I imagine. Like the being able to pay all your bills is definitely a thing, but I would imagine like going home and eating dinner by yourself again would be hard.
Yes. There was that, and there was I think it was the biggest part of it that really hit me was at the end of the day, right? Not having somebody to share your day with that really cared.
Right.
Right? Like one of my other girlfriends, she would say, well, you can phone me after work every day and tell me about your day.
Right.
And I appreciated that. That was really thoughtful, and I thank you for that. But it's not the same.
Right.
Because my day, good, bad, or indifferent, doesn't affect her life in any way, right?
So what did you do to work through that part?
Oh gosh, what did I do? I started, I guess I would talk to God when I got home or whatever, and then I would take different parts of, like, if something good happened in my day or something, I'd find a friend that could relate to that thing.
Oh, okay.
And then share that with them, and then, or if I was hurting, somebody a little more safer, right?
Right.
And also I was going to counseling too, so
okay.
I would talk to my counselor about different things and stuff, and she was incredibly supportive and stuff. So that's how I handle that piece. That's funny, yeah. I never really thought about how I handled it, but when you ask the questions, I did handle it.
Well, it's an important part of the grief journey, right? Is being able to accept where you are, but learn how to live in that grief as well, right? While you're working through it, and obviously, like, it still is emotional, but you're not just surviving; you're thriving.
I am. Actually.
So, what do you do now, based on your experiences? Like, how do you live your life differently now than you did?
Oh, much more spontaneous.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I was always fairly spontaneous, but now it's more, like, I'm not careless,
Right.
if you will, but I will like, and I'll go and do things like for instance, I guess like even having a boyfriend, like before, I would never want to do anything without my boyfriend.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So I was very codependent. Now it's like, oh, you want to do that? Oh, okay, well, you stay home then. I'm gonna
go find somebody to do it.
Yeah. I'll go find somebody else to do it with, or I'll go by myself, whatever, right?
Right.
That kind of thing. And I'm much more honest about how I feel. I don't hold back, so much anymore. I worry about, how am I gonna, because life's too short, right? So you have to be honest and open about what your needs are, and if their needs, if you can support their needs or not, right? And just a bit more bolder and
but in a gracious way.
and yeah, absolutely, like not like kicked to the curb or anything, right?
Yeah.
But just like, okay, I understand that you need that, but do you need it right now? Or like just asking the questions, right?
Yeah.
And so there's that. And then I think, much more just intentional with like, and not like my kids, like reaching out to my kids and my grandkids. And I did that before, but I think more creatively out of the box, like, okay, before it was like, okay, but they're going to come over for dinner twice a week and it's going to be on this day. And then we'll get together, we'll have dinner and connect. But that doesn't always work for them, right? They're, got little kids and it's. So, okay, well, maybe I can go pick up the grandkids on a Saturday and take them out, right?
Yeah.
Just trying to find different ways of being intentional to spend relationships with them.
So fitting into their stage of life rather than expecting them to fit into your box.
Exactly. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect way to.
Yeah, that's very intentional. That has to be intentional. A lot of, I just find as we get older, we get stuck in our routines and our boxes, and then you expect everybody younger than you to cater to you, I guess, instead of like asking the question, well, what can I do to bless you? Not how do you bless me?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
That's a very intentional way of thinking. That's good.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It's because it opens up doors. Like, so because my one son and his wife, they're so introverted, and they like during the week they don't want to do anything, right? And they get stressed quite easily. So now it's like, okay, well, how can I spend time with them? Well, obviously there's the usual like family gatherings like Easter, Christmas, all of that. But then now the boys, their two kids are playing baseball, so I'll go to the baseball game and then I can connect, and do that, right? So just little things, right? Or sometimes I'll just send a little card with a little gift card or something in the mail, just so they,
fun.
It's just fun. Like,
That's awesome.
Fun things to just.
Nobody ever gets good mail anymore.
No, it's always bills, right? It's like.
And junk mail. Who gets a Tim Hortons gift card?
That's right, exactly. It just doesn't happen, right? So so I like to do stuff like that, right?
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Thank you. Yeah,
that's
fun.
Great.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, and I think just trying to see the world, like you said, right, from their perspective as opposed to expecting them to see it from mine, right?
Yeah.
And especially after Mom died, it's like, oh, well, I'm the one who's grieving, you should be here. Oh, sorry. Grieving for me, right?
Right.
And but
which, I mean, is true in a sense.
For a time. But eventually, right? Yeah. So I have a lot more joy, like in even little things, right? Like, I don't know, like, just like my grandson will, have this special rock or something, right? And I know like grandparents get excited about those things, but like I would get excited before, but it would be like fake excited.
Oh, okay.
But now it's like, now I really am like.
I really am excited about your rock.
Yeah, like you said, it's like, it's like, wow, you're going to give me your rock, like,
right.
And that's, and nobody, share that with my friends. Nobody quite gets it. It's like, oh, that's nice, Erin.
Yeah.
Good story. Okay.
Let's
move on.
I do get that. Because they're giving something that's precious to them to you. So it's not the rock. It's the fact that they're willing to share that part of them with you. And that is a gift.
Yes, exactly.
That is such a gift when somebody, that's what I think. Yeah, I don't know what I think, but it is a very precious when somebody offers something, and it may not be to your liking or exactly what you like, but the fact that they went out of their way to give it to you, to think of you, what a gift.
Absolutely, yeah. It's very touching, and when you got a 4-year-old, and rocks are important to 4-year-olds.
They are. Yeah, I remember that with my kids. Yeah. We spent a lot of time with rocks.
Especially with boys. Although I imagine there are some girls.
We used to paint them.
Yeah, I hear that's a big, I've always wanted to do that, is to paint rocks with my grandkids, but.
I still have them.
Oh, really? The painted rocks?
I painted rocks.
Wow.
I still have them when I did it with my kids when they were little. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, see?
There
It's
we go.
a precious gift.
Yes.
Precious memories of time spent with them.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're looking for as well, right? Is being spontaneous and looking for ways to spend time with your kids in unique ways, not, and you're looking for those moments to hold on to because they are so fleeting. You just don't know, as your experience has told you, you just don't know.
You don't know when or how, whatever, right? Yeah. And I think, like it's just so, like even just the last couple of days, because Mother's Day is coming up, right? And so both my boys, independently or whatever, but so one of them's invited me over for dinner on Saturday night, and the other one's invited me for breakfast Saturday morning. And I'm thinking, wow, like that's new and such a gift, and very like in the past, I went, but what about Sunday?
Right.
Like Sunday's Mother's Day, right?
Yeah.
Really? Like
it's Mother's Day for their wives.
Exactly. It's Mother's Day for their wives, so there's that, right?
Yeah.
So they have to be because they have to have time to honor them. For sure, right? So
having a husband work on shift work.
Right.
You never get to celebrate things on the actual day. And I learned very quickly that it doesn't matter.
Wow.
As long as you're celebrating it somehow, it doesn't matter what day it is.
Yeah. I find that with, I do that with Paul and I are very much intentional about that. Like with Valentine's, it's not a big deal for us, but there are times where we really feel like we want to, have that special night. So it could be January. It could be,
I love the saying, the best reason to give flowers is for no reason at all.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love that saying.
Yeah. So,
for sure.
Yeah. So I think life is actually, I feel like I'm living life.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of just coasting.
Right.
And hoping somebody would fix me.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. You've made the choice to help yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And in the meantime, you get blessed over and over again. Right?
Over and over. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
constantly.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
So if what would you say to somebody that's struggling with grief?
Grief? Oh, don't give up. Mm-hmm. Definitely don't give up. And grief share. Grief share is a huge piece of my journey. It gave me people to walk with during that time. Oftentimes people will end up lifelong friendships out of that.
Right.
That didn't happen for me, but the information was so valuable, and just knowing you're not alone, like, because that's how often I felt, was I just felt so alone. I felt like nobody will understand and all that kind of stuff. So like, never give up. There's always something to live for. There's always something to be grateful for, and find your joy, whatever that is. Like, what, you know, different for different people. But
right. Yeah.
that would be what I would.
Right. So when you say grief share, you're talking like Celebrate Recovery and your counseling, or is that a specific program?
That is a specific program.
Okay.
It's a Christian program.
Okay.
Grief support group.
Okay.
And there's like, it's kind of set up like Alpha, like there's
I see.
a video you watch. The videos are really corny, but they're old and they're really corny, but they cover the information well, like they cover everything. And then there's a group, and you could share or not share, like you don't have to. And then you go. But yeah, so all of that, and like go to counseling, do that, like Celebrate Recovery or the like if that works for you, like all of those pieces, right? And my faith was huge. Like, I don't know that I would, like, I am so glad, like, I'm, like, in hindsight, when I look back, I know that Jesus had his hand on my life all the way through, but just saying yes and grabbing hold of that made all the difference in the world.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And led me to all these other things and people.
You quite often you get what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it must have been, to get to that point, takes a lot of work.
Oh, it's exhausting. It does. It takes a lot of work. You think you're gonna, I guess, you think you've cried all the tears you can cry because you've cried so much, and then there's more.
And then there's more.
You know, because even as you witnessed today, right? Like, Eddie's been gone for 12 years, but there's still days where
of course
it hits, right?
Yeah.
You know, and don't. I think for me, it's like what I learned. Don't be afraid to talk about it. Like Paul's really good at that. Like, you know, hopefully your partner would, a partner would be really willing to not have you shut that piece down, right? And so Paul will hear stories about Eddie and stuff like that. He's really a good listener. More than once, the same story. And he's a good listener. So
that's great.
There's that. So just surround yourself with people that will, and I guess the other thing too is to remember that, like, people will try and help by giving advice. And I know that used to get me so upset. I used to get so angry. But the truth of the matter is that their heart's in the right place. They don't know what else to do.
Right.
And they're uncomfortable with the feelings. Yeah. So they're trying to put a little Band-Aid on there or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so you can let them know, like, this is what I need. Like, I don't need you to tell me A, B, C, and D or whatever, but you know what? I really love a coffee right now, or whatever it is that you need, right? And start learning. That was another thing. I had to learn how to tell people what I needed.
Yeah, that's good. Mm-hmm. First, you have to figure out what you need.
Exactly.
Once you figure out what you need, then you can articulate it to other people without sounding crass and rude. And it's just
I really appreciate all your support. It's been great. I thank you for all the advice
advice.
Yes, unsolicited advice. However, what I could really use is
just a coffee.
Just a coffee, and let's watch this stupid
cheesy Christian movie.
Exactly.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. That is fantastic. Thank you. Not all the grief. I always like, that's so fantastic. It's not fantastic. It's a hard journey, but you're thriving. You're living. You're happy. You're full of joy, and you weren't at some point.
No, I was not. I was pretty depressed, and there were
Yeah.
times where, I thought I really appreciated my doctor, because his locum wanted to put me on antidepressants, and so I questioned it. And so when the regular doctor came back, he goes, "You don't need antidepressants. You're grieving.
Right.
You need to go for a walk. You need to, get some sunshine. You need to. These are the things you need to do."
Create
right?
nature.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, it's amazing how healing nature is.
Oh,
Which is probably why you like to go for hikes.
hikes. Yeah.
So tell me one of your favorite hikes.
Oh well, I guess I call them hikes, but they're hikes when you're 64. They're probably not hikes when you're 40.
24.
But so Cliff Park.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, in Maple Ridge.
Ridge.
Yeah,
that's
I love that.
Yeah.
That's just I with the water, I just find my happy place there. Yeah.
It is quite beautiful there.
Mhm.
There's lots of trails in there.
Yeah, lots of trails and just the rushing water, and then the different animals, and I've met all kinds of people in there walking. It's one of my very favorite places to go.
Don't forget to hug a tree.
Right.
They are living, breathing parts of nature
That's true.
that bring us healing. So yeah,
Absolutely.
I am an official tree hugger.
Are you really? Oh wow! I've never actually hugged a tree.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's very weird and super self-conscious. Try to do it when nobody's looking because I just feel so stupid. But oh my gosh, trees will hug you back.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah.
Hug a tree.
Yeah.
That's like something to put on my bucket list.
That's a very realistic bucket list.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you, Erin. Is there anything else that we didn't cover that you want to say or talk about or anything?
I don't think so. I just think, no, I just think I've had a lot of fun here, and it's been, it's been nice, like another level of, of the grief just kind of wash away, right? I remember in Grief Share learning, like in order to get over it, you have to tell your story as many times as you have to tell your story.
Okay.
And you just keep telling it until, you kind of come to, like, you'll never get over it, so to speak, but you'll come to a place of peace with it. So, so thank you for giving me that opportunity.
Well, thank you. It's an honor for me and for everybody else out there just listening and hearing your story, and it will bring hope and encouragement to many people. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you again for coming and joining us. Today we've been chatting with Erin and her journey of grief, that there is hope and there is joy. You just have to persevere and you have to find it, but you can do it. And reach out to your local community if you do need some help with whatever it is that you're going through. There are people who want to help you. So thank you for listening. This has been Maureen with Love Louder, and we'll see you next time.